We could all agree that financial stability is everyone's goal. Who would not want to live comfortably without thinking about whether there is food to cook in the next few months? Or not anxiously waiting for the linemen to cut the electricity line for being unable to pay the utilities? However, being rich does not always equate to having more money, and being poor does not always equate to a deficiency in money. Most of the time, people tend to gloss over the fact that the problem is rooted in their mindset. When you ask a person their ultimate goal, one of the most common responses would be to get rich. It would now make you reflect, what does it take to have a rich mindset? What are the things I do that affect my financial status? Is what I am doing making me richer or pulling me down lower? What are the things that the poor do that the rich don't? Well, you have arrived at the right channel to help your dilemma. Pennywise, the channel focuses on exploring wealth and increasing savings through life-changing practices about personal finance, money earning and management tips, avoiding hoaxes, and so much more. Our goal is to equip you with a Pennywise mindset through your journey to fund and help you experience the life you desire. So please join us on this exciting adventure by clicking the subscribe button below. Before we dig deep into the common practices that probably make us poorer, we must first know the differences between a rich mindset and a poor one. Someone with a rich mindset would see extra resources as something that could generate more value. It is valuable for them not to use everything in one go, since it would just be for short-term pleasure. They try to find opportunities where they can keep in the cycle of money rolling. On the other hand, a person with a poor mindset would tend to consume resources in a blink with no regard for possible returns. Now that we have affixed the differences between the two, let us now examine practices that poor people do that the rich don't. Remember that to be able to make a change in your life, you must be honest with yourself and be critical of your mindset. That way, you would be able to bloom yourself into a better person with a good perspective. First, poor people live like they have a shield thrusted out to the world the whole time. They prefer living in their own little comfortable bubbles rather than exploring the outside for possible opportunities. The problem with this is that there is no room for improvement. How would your money grow if you would not prosper in the first place? As cliche as it sounds, we can all agree that change would always start within us. The number of seminars on financial literacy will not matter if you do not take the first step forward to reality. With this, learn to take risks. Winning is not always guaranteed in everything you do, and money is not an exception. However, the lessons you have gathered in these experiences would be vital in your life's journey. Do you think that people, for example, in the business world have always succeeded in their endeavors? Definitely not. You have to be flexible and adaptable, especially when dealing with money, because unexpected problems may come from the ashes, and you may lose everything you have worked for in a flash. Indeed, being in the real world is a whole different scenario compared to staying in your safe zone. But once in a while, you have to take risks and do a giant leap to fully flourish as a person. Second, poor people are contented with a minimum. Many people would give you weirded out reactions, and sometimes snark remarks when you try to heighten your standards of living. Yes, gratefulness for the things that you have is always a good thing, but keep in mind that it does not make you selfish when you strive for better things, especially when we are referring to what we think is best for ourselves. When you make your standards of living on the general bare minimum, it becomes the maximum level that you would achieve in your lifetime. Stopping to achieve more than you have is a hindrance to self-improvement. You do not have to rush. You may start small and then escalate accordingly to bigger and bigger things while keeping your foot on the ground. So what do people with a rich mindset do? They try to aim as high as possible. They are constantly striving to make their lives better. People with this mindset are not just thinking of the present, but also their future lives. If you can finally pay for your utilities or buy your groceries steadily, that's great, but you should not just stop there. Try aiming not to think of your payments for the next 3 months or more, since you have already set aside enough funds to cover them. Sometimes, being too contented on the bare minimum makes your life like a stagnant lake. It will be better if you pursue a life like a flowing river. Third, a poor mindset person is not open to new knowledge. People with this mindset do not want to hear lectures that would seemingly make their current attitude a bad one. They think that what they know is the only correct strategy, and they would often refuse when presented with new ones. These people often lack awareness of themselves, that they are unable to accept that maybe they could do better. A person with a rich mindset would think the opposite way. They would be more open to foreign ideas. These people have long acknowledged their strengths and weaknesses, as well as accepted that they do not know everything. They can form new strategies and quickly adapt to sudden changes using the knowledge that they acquired from different groups of people. Fourth, short-term pleasures lure them easily. Patience is often a blurry word in their vocabulary. They often seek out short-term plans with temporary benefits. For them, seeing immediate output without any concrete process is enough. However, rich people would prioritize differently. Carefully honing a long-term plan is the key to success. Yes, it may take years before the fruit can be harvested, but it is all worth it in the end because its quality could not be compared to rushed ones. Fifth, complain and self-pity is their middle name. These people tend to victimize and pity themselves. Often, they weep about how life is so unfair to them. Sure, they may be in their position due to external factors like how their government works, family issues, etc. But that is not everything. Sometimes, they become too blind from all the complaining that they fail to see the opportunities for betterment right in front of them. Rich people, on the other hand, would be accepting of reality. They realize that comparing themselves would not do any good for them. In fact, it would bring them lower due to the negative atmosphere they are setting. Whew, that was quite a handful. Prioritizing knowing and loving ourselves should be emphasized more in schools to ensure that once people get to the real world, they will not be engulfed with pressure. Changing starting with our mindset is a crucial step toward financial freedom, and Pennywise is here to guide you along the way. If you want to learn more about finances, consider subscribing by clicking the big red button below and ringing the notification bell to get notified when we upload new videos. Feel free to like and comment your thoughts so we'll know your feedback. Thanks for tuning in, and see you again in our next video.